in baked into the action is also the the power of faith, of trust, of commitment. Those elements for me are baked into taking action in my life. Because many times I really don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But I did this one thing and I trust that the next thing will be revealed. And I'll tell you, it always is revealed.
Yeah.
It is always revealed.
Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery, where transformation meets action. I'm Eugene Holden. I'm one of your guides on this journey of personal growth, mindset shifts, and deep self-awareness. Each episode, we dive into the tools, wisdom, and strategies you need to break through limitations and step into your highest potential. No fluff, no shortcuts here, just real conversations, practical insights, and a community dedicated to mastery in every area of life. So, if you're ready to unlock your power, elevate your mindset, and create a life by design, then let's get started. Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. Welcome to the deep end. Hey, welcome everybody to another beautiful episode of Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. This is where we talk about all of the good stuff, and sometimes maybe not so good, but all of the things or some of the things that we may need to be reminded of to keep us moving and keep us going and living the life that all of us have come here to live, whatever that is for you. And this week is the fifth Thursday, and this is what we call Fruit Salad Thursday, where I have all of the guest hosts. I have the Reverend Charin Barone. I have the beautiful and dynamic Ell Greniel. And then, of course, I have my beautiful friend, the Reverend Melissa Moore Nobles, coming to us today from New Orleans, Louisiana. Oh, gosh. And I'm, of course, Eugene Holden. And I always have a good time with each of these beautiful souls individually on each show. And boy, it's a party when we come together. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Every time.
Every time, every time. So I just want to jump right into this. And I want to call this one Get Off the Fence. Thank you, Elle. Get off the fence. Meaning that, well, let me have Elle start and talking about what that means.
So we were discussing a little bit earlier, getting some backstory on this, so to speak. So there's a saying, fence sitters get splinters. And there's a whole bunch of other sayings kind of around this being stuck in fear, doubt, and indecision, deer in the headlights, analysis paralysis. So we've labeled the heck out of this thing rather than take action on it, right? So stop it's, when we stop just talking about it and we start taking action, things just start to shift. The analogy I used to give when I lived in Hawaii is when you're on the beach, you can see the lifeguard towers going down the beach, but you can see maybe six. But once you start walking, you can see towers you couldn't see before. But it wasn't until you started moving that you were able to see what you were not able to see before. That's why that first step, no matter how scary it might be, is the best one. It's the best one. So get off the fence. If you're talking about it, talk to people like this, right? We talk to each other for support and help. And then we encourage each other for what's the now what? What's the next step? How's that going? Right. So taking that first step is crucial for getting off the fence, or it might be in this case to get off the fence. That first move is actually a hop, a leap, a jump. Yeah.
Very well said. Get off the fence. It's not the first step. Getting off the fence is hopping. Is that hop? Ooh, and making the the conscious decision, let me make up my mind to do this. Because staying on the fence doesn't work. Because now I'm a spectator of life, watching it go by, and I might be that person that goes, "Woe is me, and why is everything passing me by?" It's because I haven't hopped off the fence.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and the other thing that comes up on that is, okay, what am I hopping off the fence to do?
Mm.
'Cause I,
Specifically.
yeah, specifically, because I just don't want to hop off the fence and look around. And go, okay, well now what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I remember being in a class with someone, and it was a teacher that a philosophical teacher that I really admired, and this was a few years back, and this person said, not just to me but to the whole class, this person said, analyzation equals paralyzation. And
Mhm.
many in the group, like myself, we had analyzed ourselves into this paralyzation of, if I do this, what would my child say, or what would my mother say? And we had analyzed ourselves into that such paralyzation that we did not know how to, take the next step. And what that reminds me of is, I think for me, I first have to identify what that paralyzation is. Okay, so let's say it's financial paralyzation. What am I going to be doing about it? What is that next step? Because I don't want, as Eugene just said, I don't want to see life passing me by. I don't want to stay on the fence and getting all the stickers in my bahootie. No. I'm moving forward, and so for me, I think that, not I think, it's more important than I think. I absolutely believe that all of us have that incredible power within. And Ell could really speak to this about neurolinguistically, how that takes place. But we have that incredible power within. We have to just make a choice. I had to make a choice to say, it doesn't matter what other people think, your mother-in-law, it doesn't matter. You have to move this forward, Charin. You have to move it. And how do you want to move it? What do you want out of it? And then identifying that by making that choice, then from the solar plexus, I felt led and I said, oh, I could do this. And for me, that was really powerful about getting off of the fence and taking a step forward.
You know what it reminds me of is commitment.
Mm.
Because being on the fence is a demonstration that you're not committed, that I'm not committed to whatever the thing is, because I'm on the fence. But the moment that I get off the fence, even if I don't know exactly what to do, the very fact that I got off the fence is like a signal. It's like the Batman signal, right? To the
Yeah.
universe, to my ancestors,
Yeah.
to all the help that is on this physical realm and beyond, that I'm making a move. Getting off the fence itself is an action.
Mm-hmm.
And that triggers that I made a commitment to get off the fence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
usually when I make that commitment to just get off the fence, something else is there waiting for me. And then I could trust that, and even if I can't see the whole picture, just doing that next thing will reveal the next thing to do. So in baked into the action is also the power of faith, of trust, of commitment. Those elements for me are baked into taking action in my life. Because many times I really don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But I did this one thing, and I trust that the next thing will be revealed. And I'll tell you, it always is revealed.
Yeah.
It is always revealed. So just get off the fence and show that commitment, that you're committed to getting off the fence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And as we're having this conversation, having the commitment to get off of the fence, what came to me is, well, but I'm committed to being on the fence,
True.
right?
It's a choice.
Yeah, it is. It is a choice. But for me, after getting tired of watching life go by, and there's always something within people. There's always something within us that is inviting us to more.
Mhm.
Life naturally wants to be more. That's just the way that it's. I'm going to use your phrase, Melissa. It's baked in, right?
Mhm.
It always wants to be more. And then we come. I'm committed to being on this fence because I'm afraid I don't know what's going to happen if I jump off this fence. If I jump off the fence, what's going to happen? Where am I going to go? I don't know what to do. And people are going to talk to me, talk about me, and yeah. And then that comes up with that word trust.
Mhm.
Trust that everything is okay and will be okay. And the other word I want to bring into that is, for me, it's to surrender, to surrender, to
Ooh.
surrender. I
Mhm.
talk about surrender a lot. There's two sides to it for me. Let me surrender all of the stuff that doesn't serve me, all the stuff that, let me put it this way, all the stuff that serves me staying on the fence. Let me surrender that because
Ooh.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then me jump off the fence and then trust and surrender to the good that I know is coming. Okay, I can't see the fourth or fifth lifeguard station, but if I keep going,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
going to pop up, in places I didn't even know. Fear of taking that next step.
Mhm.
For me, when that comes up, nowhere does it come up as often as it used to, thank God. But when
Mhm.
it did
Yeah.
come up, it's like, okay, I would ask myself, what am I really afraid of? And
Mhm.
usually it's, being judged by
Mhm.
whatever. And what I really came to find out was that I was judging myself and projecting that on, well, people are going to judge me. It was just me.
Mhm.
Always comes back to me.
I like that simplicity. It always comes back to me. I was thinking it was just about you, Eugene, not me. But
Exactly.
so I'm hearing um, three elements here in order to get off of the fence. And that first one is what I heard from Reverend Melissa is, what am I committed to? And then the second one is what's the belief behind it, of why I can't get off the fence. And then the third one was that that element of just surrendering to the, and help me here with this if I have the, but surrendering to the commitment that I just made, that I am going to get off the fence and I'm going to make a decision, regardless of what anyone says that I can or cannot do. And in that surrender and in that belief and in that commitment, doesn't it really just empower us to really just move forward? I love the combination of that because then it feels directional to me. Oh, I got what the signal was. This is what spirit wants me to do, or this is what my heart's desire is. So I put the combination of these three into effect. And then, as Reverend Melissa said, it's going to show up. It's going to show up. And I guess that's where, not I guess, I know that's where the trust factor is. So are surrender and trust kind of one and the same or no?
For me, I don't think they're one and the same, but they are so connected.
Hmm.
And this is how I break it down with clients, is we can't have, I have to trust in order to surrender, right? I have to trust in order to surrender. That's what that trust fall is all about. We all have experienced that. You close your eyes and you trust that somebody's back there to catch you. And so that's a surrender, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think they're one and the same. I think that they're not the same, but they are connected
Very, very connected.
to
Okay. I
me.
got. Hmm.
Now, somebody might have a different take on that.
No, I agree, especially the trust fall thing you were talking about, right? It comes in that order. And to loop back, something you said made me think about how people judge us when we get off the fence. And
Jeez.
yes, they do, because they're also on the fence and they don't
Mm,
want you to
Mm,
go because
mm,
then they have to
mhm,
look at themselves.
right.
So they want to, I don't want to say make you feel bad, but they want to tell you all the reasons why what you're doing is not a good thing, a
Right.
right choice, a good decision, while they're sitting on the fence because they don't want to grow,
Yeah.
right? So you go
yes.
and they're saying, don't leave me. And you say, I'm not leaving you. I'm just leaving.
Mhm.
Right.
What a
You can,
distinction, Elle.
you
Whoo,
can join
that's
me.
powerful.
And that
And
whole
Absolutely.
relationship could be with ourselves, that part
yes,
of ourselves, right? That lower
yeah,
S self that says, wait, where are you going? Let's just stay right here. Isn't it nice and comfy?
Hmm.
We're safe
We're
here.
safe here.
We're safe
yeah.
here. Like, don't go wandering off yonder where we're not familiar. So the whole dynamic and the judgment could be within ourselves. And oftentimes it is.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
And that's the
So
neuroscience stuff, right? Our brain is
mhm,
hardwired for safety,
mhm,
security, those
Mm.
types of things. But it's not, it doesn't serve us anymore to stay safe in that respect, right? So
mhm,
the people who left the cave never came back. The people who went after the big scary saber-toothed tiger maybe didn't come. So the scary and the different and the new, back then, no one knew what happened. They didn't come back. So
Mhm.
assumed dead and gone, right?
Mhm.
But now, if we don't take the leap, if we don't learn, if we don't grow, we become stagnant
Mm,
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
stop being a river and we become a pond on a golf course.
mm,
And, we just don't want that.
yeah. Yeah.
I had that big decision when I moved here, right? So I left Hawaii after 18 years to come here and I didn't know a soul, no family, no friends, didn't speak the language. Oh, everybody had an opinion on
I'm
that.
sure.
Mhm.
But I knew in my heart it was what I was supposed to do. I had 100% faith that I don't know what this is going to look like, but I know it's where I'm supposed to be. And what's fascinating is I've been here
Mhm.
4 years and some of the people who gave me the most angst about this have never visited me here once.
Mm,
And if they did, they would be so happy for me,
mm,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But they're still
Mhm.
on the fence.
right. Right.
They're still on the fence.
It's interesting being on the fence. It reminds me of this because I like to go back sometimes to scripture and the stories. And it was Peter who got out of the boat when Yeshua, the story goes, Yeshua was walking out on the water. And Peter goes, Lord, is that you? Come on out here, right? And he goes out and walks in. But what about the other people on the boat going, what are you doing? You can't do that. You
Yep.
don't you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, and so and then he began to listen to that, and then began to sink, right? Because he lost his faith, and when he was committed to taking that step. Now, committing, so the question then, there are a few actually. We have time for all of them, I think. What are you committed to? Now, I'm not asking any of you for, but that's the question, that we get to ask ourselves every day. What am I committed to today?
Mhm.
Today,
Mhm.
maybe I'm just committed today to have a really good show, um, maybe I'm committed. I'm committed to enjoying this day in peace and just allowing grace to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
So to get clear on what am I committed to today? See, now, L, that brings this up, right? Coming back to that first thing, what am I committed to? It poses the question, what is my desire? You know, Committed to. But I want to play the devil's advocate, if I may, here. I hear you guys talking about commitment and getting off of the fence, and I'm afraid to take that hop off the fence. How do I do that? I want to, I just don't know how to. What sayeth thou, wise ones?
Hmm. I'll
Well,
pass that to Elle. And I'll follow her lead, okay, Melissa?
I would say, I'll just speak from my personal experience. The times where I was hesitant to jump off the fence, the times where, because the desire is to jump off the fence.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how to do that. And I could even know that I'm going to be okay. And yet I stay on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
My experience has been I will get knocked off the fence. Something will happen in my life that will just push me off that fence. Right? And now I'm laying on the ground.
No longer on the fence.
No longer on the fence. And now my decision is, well, do I just lay here or do I get up? Right? And at some point I get up.
Yeah.
I don't go and get back on the fence.
Yeah.
Once I'm off that fence, pushed or jumped myself, I'm off it. So the fear that I had about it, the story that I made up about it,
there we go,
starts to shift. I could see something a little differently. And that's all I need to take a step forward. Right? So I may be laying on the ground and I'll say, let me just pray. And that prayer, that's when we lean into our spiritual practices. That prayer will give me enough to get up and move forward.
Amen.
I may decide to call a friend who knows the highest good for me. And that will give me the courage to get up and move forward. So the resources are at hand.
Yes.
Right. So I there's something within me, right, that capital S self knows this when I forget for myself and will orchestrate the opportunity for me to remember again. That's what I would say to someone who's on the fence and is afraid to get off and doesn't know how to.
Just real, I would just want to interject something. It's interesting I was listening to you speak, Melissa, jumping or being pushed off of the fence, right? But once we're off the fence, there's a totally different view. It's not the same view. Everything looks different. Okay, that's all I wanted to add into that.
That reminds me also of there's a saying that goes something like, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. All that matters is how many times you get up.
Yeah.
Along the same, like being pushed off the fence and there you are on your back looking up at the sky. Well, what a great time to pray to God. Like, okay, here I am, right? Looking this way. Throw up the bat signal, because through prayer and meditation and connection to our true source, because we clearly couldn't do it alone.
Right.
And so we give up the ego for a moment. And when we do that, we don't always like what we hear. Very often when we get that message of what's our next step, we're like, that's too much. That's too big. And that's where we go back to what Melissa was saying. You talk to those people that's in their wheelhouse. They have done that. They have been there. They have accomplished a version of that. So Eugene and I talked about this in an episode a while back. Those three questions are, starting with Eugene's, what am I committed to? That alone gets you off the fence. Uh, how do I get that, get there, get it? And then who can help me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like somebody, metaphorically holding your hand
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that you only look back if there's something there valuable that you possibly left behind. That's it. Otherwise, it's
Mm-hmm.
all new, exciting, uncharted territory. And that's why we're here to be alive,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so to wake up every morning going, thank you for another opportunity
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
is a
Ooh,
great state to be in.
it
Mm-hmm.
is.
And I just
Look.
want to speak to that. I am a really good sleeper. I'm a South Dakota girl, early to bed and early to rise. And I mean, and what tells me my body's always talking to me. And what tells me to get off the fence is when I have sleepless nights. It doesn't happen often,
Mm,
but when it
mm.
does, I am wide awake. It's so different for me and my body. And then I manufacture this headache and I'm tossing and I'm turning and I have to get up and I think, oh, I'll have a glass of brandy. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, hell no. That. And I have to really look at what was it that happened prior to that, the day before or the week before? What happened? Where was I stuck? And why am I having a sleepless night over that? And then that brings up, at least for me, what am I committed to? The first thing I am committed to is a good night's rest. And I'm committed to who I am. I choose not to be in struggle. I just overall, financially, health wise, everything. I don't like being in struggle. So, what can I do to get out of that struggle? Is to get off that dang fence and see what I'm committed to. And if I have to fall in order to, and okay, fall because then you can get up with the new consciousness. You can get up and say, wow, these are the tools. I learned this at the academy. Or I could call Ell or Melissa right now and say, I'm in this. Could you give me some direction so that I can use the tools that you have or all of these principles that we've all been espousing for all of these years, and then to actually put them into practice, step by step, to put them into practice. So to me, that's the, for me, that's my willingness to make a commitment to live this full, healthy, wonderful, sleep-filled life.
Yeah. Yeah. I love my sleep. And I make sure that that I've been in alignment with who am choosing to be throughout the day. And because I am, I sleep quite well.
Mhm.
Um, so going back to though, right, that getting off of the fence and tapping into that the voice of our higher selves who knows why it's here as us, right? And is pushing and prodding and pulling and all of that until we hop off of the fence. And what I come to realize over the years is that, and we've said it in some form or fashion, not just here, but throughout a lot of the shows, that we are always taken care of, right? We are always taken care of, and so in listening to that still sacred voice from within going, we are here for this. We are here to live and to live abundantly. We are here to enjoy life. And one of my favorite films, one of the top five, my favorite top five, is the Shawshank Redemption. Great
Mhm.
film. Great film.
Mhm.
Stephen King, right?
Mhm.
But there is a scene in there where Rob Robbins' character and Andy Dufresne has spent the night in the hole, and he's sitting up against the wall. He's out of the hole now, and his friend Red, played by Morgan Freeman, walks up to him, and Andy Dufresne says, you know, you can either get busy living or get busy dying. And he walks off to start whatever he was going to do. But that line, we can either get busy living or get busy dying. I know that we know a lot of people who, this may sound a little harsh, but who are the walking dead,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not alive to who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And getting off of the fence, making the decision, for me, making the decision to get off the fence was a scary thing because of my own personal fear of being judged, right? Number one, judging myself, can I do what I'm being led to do? And then what are they going to say about me? you know,
Yeah.
I had a mentor say, people are going to talk about you regardless, right? So let them talk about you doing what you love doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That reminds me, one of my favorite quotes is Zig Ziglar.
Mm,
A rut is just a grave with the ends kicked out. And so if people are listening right now, maybe thinking, I'm not really on the fence about anything. My life is pretty simple. It's pretty boring.
mm,
So, do you have any chronic illnesses, ache, pains, insomnia, that dis-ease is your body screaming that you're not getting busy living?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Just add to that, El. How are the personal relationships? Right? Are they harmonious?
Mm-hmm.
If not, well, take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Counting the days to retirement. That's on the fence.
Whoo, man,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Here's somebody likes to play with that word. It's refirement, so they're fired up again to do whatever. Maybe it's because they're listening to that higher self, um, wanting them to get on to the business of why they're here.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Ask the questions. Oh, I had a note here. So for me, whenever the fear came up in L, you're going to know these questions. Um, but one of the questions when something goes on, and I want to, and I'm wanting to go down this path. I can see it clearly, but this fear comes up, or an experience comes up that has me go, wait, hang on, wait, hold up, and I ask myself the questions. Well, number one is, well, what else could this mean?
Mhm.
Right? Or I love this one for me is because something will come up. Somebody might push a button, or whatever, and it's not about them. I will say thank you so very much, and I will ask myself, okay, what is this about? What is this angst about? Is it this? Is it this? Oh, there it is. So let me pull that up to be healed, whatever it is. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I can surrender that because it doesn't serve me, then surrender to my good.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the fence. If you need a parachute, then use that
Mm-hmm.
because it
Mm-hmm.
might be a high wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm,
Eugene, what you're speaking to is listening.
yeah,
Listening is an action as
yeah,
well.
yes,
So if we go within and we ask those questions and then we
yeah. Thank you for saying that.
just listen to what comes up. I love Parker Palmer. He wrote this book, It'll Come to Me. But one of the quotes he said, I looked it up. He said, before I can tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen to my life telling me who I am. So we listen, and let your life speak. That's the name of the book. Let your life, let your life speak. And he talks about living life fully alive because some people are living life half dead, not fully alive, but half dead. So there's so much value in I have to slow myself down sometimes. I have to literally say to myself, Melissa, slow it down. Just slow it down and listen.
Mhm.
Just listen for a moment, because I could take off and just be running down this road and missing signals that I need to pay attention to.
Mhm.
Things that I need, in my wheelbarrow that's going to be necessary for me to um, have access to when I get to where I'm going. But if we
Mhm.
don't slow down and take a moment just to listen
Yeah.
to that, Eugene, I love that you say the sacred still voice.
Yeah, the
To
still
listen,
sacred voice. Yeah.
yes, to listen. That is an action that you can take when you get off the fence and you're not sure what is my next thing to do. You can ask the question and you can listen, because there will be an answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the next thing you do when you listen is to take action.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's important to note, and Eugene and I have done work on this. When we ask those questions are, what's my next step, right? Who can help me? How can I get there? That question is rarely, start to say never, why? Not why does this always happen to me? Why am I stuck here?
Right.
Why? No, 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 because you'll also get answers. The ego will jump in with all the reasons why, but you
Mhm.
want the how, you want the who, you want those empowering questions when we ask those things and get still and breathe it in and get the confidence to take those next steps. But like you were saying, be committed to taking those next steps. Then the action must happen.
Yeah. And listening, asking the questions, right? And then listening to that, as I love to say, still sacred voice, because it's not a still small voice to me. It's not small.
Mhm.
It's huge. And but then people will say, but how do you know which voice to listen to?
Yeah.
I would give the answer, but I'm going to just defer to any of you all. How do you know which voice or what that still sacred voice is?
It
Well, as
feels
I
like
was
love.
listening, go ahead. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like love.
Mm-hmm.
There's no judgment.
Right.
It just feels like love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I was listening to Melissa earlier, I felt like she was channeling my late husband, Frank, because he always used to say, Charin, your enthusiasm outrides your good sense, and to be still and listen. And listen, and how you're laughing, Eugene, but
I'm
and
not the only one, but go ahead.
yeah. But I could feel his presence when she was speaking, but also when Elle was speaking, I could feel Frank's powerful consciousness, his presence coming through because he taught me that to listen deeply. Don't let your enthusiasm take place after you know that there is that voice that is
Mm,
saying make a left or make a right here. So I believe that it is, we absolutely know when we are listening, when there is a peace that comes to us, there's love that comes to us, there's no chatter, chatter, chatter. It is, it just is. Okay, now I know what to do, and I have the faith and the strength and the enthusiasm to move that forward, to
yeah,
take that step.
that's good. It's good
Mhm.
stuff.
And if we get overly enthused, or then sometimes we lose the focus, right? So
Mm,
once we're quiet and we get the message and we begin moving, we still must be intentional,
Yes.
focused in the moment, remembering our purpose. You know, it reminds me of a story. One time, my sister and I were in Las Vegas at a conference, and my cousin let us use her Jeep. And I was staying at a friend's condo that I'd never stayed in before, and all this kind of stuff. We just had got there. So we're excited. We're in Vegas, right? And we're headed to this condo that I was told is just right outside of the strip. We've been driving about 20 minutes, cannot find this condo. This is way before GPS and all that kind of stuff. And so I said to God, show me a sign. What's up? And we passed a sign that said, "Welcome to California."
I think you drove a little too far.
That's
So we were
hysterical.
talking, I thought we had driven maybe 15 minutes. You know how time bends when you're loving life. But we had driven at least a half an hour because the borders are actually not that far to California,
Right.
depending on which direction you're headed. So think of all the signs that I missed not being focused on. The mission was to get to the condo,
Right.
not to joyride. And once I focused off of the joyride, got my sign, as Jeff Foxworthy, he also, here's your sign.
Here's your sign.
Yeah.
Welcome to California. I guess we should make a U-turn. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I want to just go back. I want to come back to that listening part because it's so important. You know, asking the questions, asking the right questions, you know, of course is is pretty important as well. Asking the right questions, but then like taking the time to listen and listen from a place of trust, trusting that the right answer is there. This is what I love about questions and answers. The answer is already inherent in the question,
Hmm.
right? So I ask the question, well, the answer is there. I just need, for me, get still enough to feel what it is. Not so much to hear what it is, but to feel what it is for me. Yeah.
That reminds me of math, which is not my strong suit. And you got to show your work. So to get the answer, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there with the question and then the answer is just going to come because it's a process. It's like we were talking about. That's what life is. It's the process.
Yeah.
It's the living. It's the purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Backing it up just a bit, right? So I'm on the fence and I want to get off of the fence and I don't know how to get off the fence. So let me ask the question, how do I get off this fence? Now let me listen for the answer. I can jump, or there's a ladder over there, there's steps over there, or a spirit will go, there you go, just kick you off. But you know, that question is how do I how in another way of putting how do I get off of the fence is how do I start?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's my next step? What's my next relevant step?
Mhm.
It's an inside joke,
It's
Eugene.
an inside joke. Yes. But it's a great question though. What am I doing? What do I do now? What's my I'm very clear. I want to get off of this fence. There are things I want to do. I have an idea on what those are. How do I do this? Or not even how. What's my next step? Yeah. Take a leap of faith.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know which Indiana Jones that movie's in, where he has to take that leap of faith. He can't see the bridge.
Yeah.
It looks like a cavern that he's just gonna dive off of and go, but he's being told to do this. And he says, okay, puts his foot out there into nowhere,
Mhm.
and there's an unseen bridge that becomes visible with the first step.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, was that a big faith in that movie?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So getting off of the fence takes trust, it takes commitment, it takes a willingness. You know, am I willing to get off the fence, or am I comfortable in this discomfort?
No. No.
But here is the thing, though, Sharon, that some people are comfortable being in that discomfort.
Mhm.
Now we can go ahead.
Well, I was thinking of what Elle said earlier. Maybe maybe that people are so comfortable in their discomfort because they feel safe there. And so I don't have to do this. I can just be here, and I get to stay small, and I get to judge other people that get off the fence, or I can make other people wrong because they don't believe the same way that I do. And in that, I sense that whether we recognize it or not in them, there will always be that internal turmoil. And you're never going to be able to lose the weight that you want to lose, or to get that project off the ground, or whatever it is, because you have chosen and committed to just staying on the fence and playing small. And maybe, and for me, that would never ever work, because I I cannot that moves within me. It moves so powerfully, and you may call it enthusiasm, you may call it sleepless nights, but I absolutely know for me that there is a pure divine assignment, and I am supposed to be doing that, and I'm channeling it every day by the choices that I make. And if I am sitting on that fence, I am not channeling my divine good. I am not channeling that divine assignment that says, Sharon, you are here for a purpose. So I just want to challenge the listening audience here for a minute. Perhaps this could be a key question for you. How are you feeling about your everyday? Do you feel conflicted, or is it like, oh, I could do this or I could do that? Because depending upon how we feel, that's what we're going to create next. I mean, there's a direct correlation. If I say, oh, I'm never going to get well, I'm always going to have macular degeneration, and I'm going to go blind because of it. By cracky, guess what happens? I will go blind because of it. And I'm swearing to you right now, in my 50s, I got diagnosed with that disease, and I always said, I am seeing with the vision of God. And every doctor, every analyst, every retinologist that I went to see, they would say, you're going by the time you're 62, you're going to be legally blind. Well, I will tell you right now, I am 75. I still drive, and I'm still seeing with the vision of God.
Yeah. Let
So I
passion
got
be
off
your
the fence
wings.
on that one because I'm not going blind.
Amen to that. Amen
Now,
to
do I drive
that.
at night? No. If you want to see me, you got to come pick me up. But that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when we were talking about being comfortable with the discomfort, it just makes me think about sometimes I'm not sure if it's really being comfortable with the discomfort. It's the familiar,
Mm.
being in the familiar.
Mm.
Um,
It's
and
easy.
yeah, it's familiar, right? We know it. And it's that unknown that is the scary part for many people, to be able to make that leap off of the fence. And it reminds me, there's a book that I can't think of right now, but the main character's name is Ordinary, and he lives in the land of the familiar. And one day he has a dream, and he wakes up and realizes that he hasn't been living his dream.
Mm.
And he's only been living this life in the land of the familiar with all the other ordinaries right? And decides that he has to leave. He has to leave. And so he leaves the land of the familiar. His mother, his father, his best friends were telling him not to go. That is this is where you want to be. Like, why would you want to go out there? You don't know what's out there. There's monsters out there, right? And as he went along on his journey, he did face monsters. He faced the monsters of doubt, of worry, but he also was met with champions and heroes who supported him. And he got to actualize this dream. And the dream was what the world needed, you know? So even if we feel discomfort, it could be maybe it's not discomfort, maybe it's just what's familiar to me. And if I leave the familiar and venture out to the unfamiliar and trust that I might face doubt, worry, fear, obstacles, barriers. I might face all of that. And at the same time, I may also, and this is guaranteed, everybody, you will also face support, helpful people, things that seemed impossible that we could call miracles, but we won't know it. We won't experience it until we leave that which is familiar.
Yeah. And you brought up a beautiful point with that synopsis of the story. And I had to write the line down because as we get off of the fence, all of us and everybody who's tuning in, we are stepping into, why we're here and giving to the world and what the world needs.
Yes. Yeah.
What the world needs. And what the world needs is each and every one of us. Yeah. So get off the fence because the world needs you.
Yeah.
That's a nicer way of saying get off your anyway, so get off your donkey because the world needs us all.
And be courageous. We did a podcast on that a while ago.
Yeah.
How to be courageous, because that's tied in there as well.
Yeah.
We each are a superhero. We each are here with this power, right?
Right.
So stand in your power and allow that to lead you. And when I was saying Charin's story, allow passion to be your wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
To lift you up so that
Yeah.
you can see the situation more clearly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I love that word enthusiasm. Yeah. Love that word. Y'all need to go, not you all, but people go look up that word. Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff. And passion, man. Yeah. Yeah. So the question that I'm going to ask, and then we can start to wrap this up. And this is to everybody who is tuning up. Are you passionate about getting off the fence? If not, what will it take for you to become passionate in getting off the fence? And as usual, ladies, right, it always comes back to serving our purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just find different ways to talk about the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Because whatever your purpose is, folks, the world needs it.
Amen to that. Yes.
And as I like to say often when it comes to purpose, it doesn't have to be any earth-shattering, horns blowing, stars, fireworks. It can be just as simple as giving that next person you see a smile. Yeah, your purpose is to be you.
Yes.
Closing remarks, ladies. 1, 2, 3. I gave mine.
The devil's advocate to that, I imagine there's listeners saying, but I don't know my purpose. And that's where the action comes in. So my closing remark is start giving the smile, start giving the compliment, get out of the house with some nice clothes on, not your church clothes necessarily, right? But look nice
Mhm.
and and be out there, because then it's easier for it to find you and
Yeah.
touch you and present itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before someone else goes, Elle used a phrase that we all know, right? We know what it means, right? You don't need your church clothes. And we all know, even people who are tuning in, like, I know what that means. But get out there so that it can find you.
Yeah. I think my closing about this would be being on the fence. You don't necessarily have to wait till you feel passion
Mm.
or motivated. I often say motivation is a setup. So I think about it like I want to go to the gym, but I'm waiting to feel motivated to go to the gym. When I feel motivated, I'm going to go to the gym and just drop in anything. It don't have to be the gym. It could be writing a book, whatever it is. The motivation is in the thing.
Mhm.
So I'm on the fence waiting to feel passionate about the gym.
Ooh, come on.
Where at the gym, guess who's holding the door open for me? Motivation.
Mm.
Motivation is in the thing.
Mm.
So when I reach
Mm.
the gym, motivation is there holding the door open for me. And I'm walking through, and I will have everything that I need. The machines, the trainers,
Mhm.
whatever will be there just waiting for me to receive me, to simply receive me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah. Wow. Well, for me, I'm going to take it back to my South Dakota roots. As you know, I love my home state of South Dakota. And when you are raised next to the soil, next to the earth, you always are all, and you live off of the land for vegetables to feed your cows, whatever it is. And I'm going back there because I know absolutely this. If I need to get off of the fence, then I have to ask myself this question: what seeds am I planting? And being a good farmer's daughter, rancher's daughter, I know this, that my dad would have never planted corn expecting rye to come up. If you plant corn, you're going to get corn. So I say, plant in you the goodness of who you are in your life. And it starts with a smile. It starts with being kind. I have a message on my phone that says, I'm sorry I missed you, but my kindness follows you. So be kind to yourself and be kind to one another. And so to me, I plant those seeds of kindness, whether I'm feeling it at the moment or not. And I have to say, here in Palm Springs, I'm legendary at Trader Joe's. Because I don't know the names of these young folks that work there, but I'm there every Friday.
They know you.
They know me. Yes, exactly. And I was in there the other day, and I was walking down an aisle, and I heard this one sweet young man say, "Oh, here's the kindness woman. Here's the funny, kind woman. Everybody, guess who's here? The funny, kind woman is here."
I love
See?
that.
So I say, let's plant seeds of kindness and love and generosity wherever we go. Each of us can do that, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
The world needs it.
I was about to say the same thing, yeah, because the world needs it.
Mhm.
So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. And we just invite you to take whatever works for you and put it into practice for yourself. And as Charin said, be kind. Peace and abundant blessings, everyone.
Peace and abundance.
Always.